Welcome to Extension Connection on Super Talk 1270. Thoughtful information and discussion with experts from both Burleigh and Morton County Extension Service offices. Extension Connection provides advice on family nutrition, issues in agriculture, lawn and garden, community leadership, homeowner concerns, and so much more. Live from the Super Talk 1270 studio, this is Extension Connection.
Good morning and welcome to the Extension Connection. You have the Morton County Extension Service here with you today. Just a quick note, we are recording this week's radio show, and so if you have any questions regarding our show, you can call our office at 667-3340, and we would be happy to help you out. This is Carla Micklem, the 4-H Youth Development Agent. Joining me today is Vanessa Hoynes and Liz Larson, and Jackie should be here shortly joining us as well. And we'll just kind of go around and let everybody know here what we're talking about today. Vanessa, how about you go first?
Okay, well, I thought I'd talk a little bit about April is Child Abuse Prevention Month, and so I have some family activities, some ideas, free ideas that we can do and have fun with our family. I'm going to talk a little bit about shaping up for spring and looking at some of the fruits and vegetables that are in season, and especially asparagus. We're going to talk a little bit about asparagus. I know that's usually like one of those love-hate relationships for folks. Either they really like it or they really don't. And so we'll talk about why maybe you should like it. And Liz, how about you?
I'm also going to talk a little bit about Child Abuse Prevention Month, but more from the angle of how can you find resources and, kind of what does it mean as a community or just a member of a community to be aware of child abuse and child abuse prevention this month in April. So,
great. And I'm going to start off. I've got some news here from the past weekend. We had a pretty busy weekend here in 4-H with Morton County and statewide. Saturday, I took the senior and junior hippology teams down to Fargo for the North Dakota State Hippology Contest and Horse Quiz Bowl and Horse Judging Event. And if you're wondering what hippology is, I've talked about this a little bit before, but hippology is the study of anything equine. So we're talking anything from what they eat to their bone structure, to reproductive system, absolutely everything horses. And I'm pretty excited. Morgan Henke here from Morton County received first place overall in the senior hippology. She had a score of 281 points, and she did fantastic. Our next closest here, or in the top 15 anyways, was Ashley Goldaddy, and she placed 12th overall. And other members of the team were Brooke Heydrich and Brenna Hoger. And so Morton County had a really good day. We placed 3rd overall. Congratulations to Kidder County. There's probably some Kidder County folks listening, as Kidder County did win the state senior hippology contest and are eligible to attend the national contest in Denver here coming up in January of 2017. Benson County was your 2nd place team. And again, Morton County received 3rd. And in the junior contest, that one also was exciting. I'm happy to report our junior team of Caitlin Eisenbeis, Samantha Johnson, and Peyton Goldaddy received first place overall at the contest. They had a really great day. I was very excited for them. And 2 of those gals are actually moving up to the senior level next year. So they'll have a little bit of different competition as you go from a junior when you work as a team to complete the contest to a senior where you participate individually except for the team problem. So great job overall to the hippology teams. Sunday was a whole nother day of events. We had the Horse Quiz Bowl. And the Horse Quiz Bowl was also pretty exciting. There was 21 junior teams. So there was a lot of kids there. And they're, of course, across from all over North Dakota.
And one thing I bet listeners don't know is that with the Quiz Bowl, they actually get to have buzzers.
Yes,
and
it's
they
like
buzz in like a game show.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. So the kids have a lot of fun with that.
They do, and they make really loud noises. It's like just like a game show. It's like Family Feud almost. So anyway,
so a little less racy.
Exactly. Yeah. And yep. So anyways, the junior contest was very exciting. The Morton County junior team placed 3rd in the Quiz Bowl. And that one, we had 5 individuals participating. It's Caitlin Eisenbeis, Samantha Johnson, I'm going to blank out. Ashton Bame and Bryn Vega, and I'm missing somebody. Caitlin Eisenbeis, Peyton Goldaddy. There you go. Top 5. There we go. For Morton County in a junior contest. And they'd placed 3rd overall. I should have been more prepared and wrote that down for you this morning. I just thought I could just breeze right off.
When you spent the weekend together, you figured you could remember their names.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And in the Horse Quiz Bowl contest for the senior division, we had Ashley Goldaddy place 5th overall. It's based on how many questions that you answer correctly as an individual. And so 5th overall, she was placed, and then the Morton County team placed 4th. And so it was a really good day, very exciting weekend. In Fargo, the weather was pretty decent and just a happy time on campus. I have a couple other events here coming up to visit about. We are finishing up our indoor archery series here for the winter for 4-H shooting sports. And our wrap-up is this coming Saturday in Edgeley. And we will be shooting the state indoor and also the South Central District archery tournament. So there's kind of 2 tournaments going on at one time, with one score will be for both tournaments. And we'll crown an indoor state champion, which is always very exciting. And got quite a few kids from Morton and Burleigh County headed down to that contest. So good luck to all of those individuals. Couple other events coming up here for 4-H. There is some adult trainings that are going to be hosted in Ramsey County and in Barnes County for shotgun training. And these trainings are for adults that want to be part of the North Dakota 4-H shooting sports program and help youth learn more about shooting a shotgun safely, working with trap, sporting clays, and skeet. And so on April 16th, we will be in Ramsey County, and I'm actually the facilitator for the training. So I'll be up in Devil's Lake. And then on Sunday, I'm going to spend time in my hometown of Wimbledon and have some shotgun training there. And still looking for some participants for that one in Wimbledon, as I need a minimum of 6. So if you're interested in the listening area and you have questions on shotgun training, that is through the North Dakota 4-H shooting sports program, please feel free to call the office at 667-3340.
And it's really a great way for people to get a chance to share their love of hunting and shooting and all those things. It's just a great opportunity to get together with kids and help them out. Yep.
I had a phone call last week from actually someone in the community, and they're interested in helping shooting sports out. And it was neat to hear them, the gentleman, visit with me about opportunities that he could provide, hunting opportunities, mentoring opportunities, and that kind of thing. So hats off to our volunteers and those that really step up and help out with those programs, because really they're the backbone of what 4-H is and are able to help guide those programs.
And sometimes I think people think that the 4-H volunteers are always the parents of the kids involved, but if your kids are grown and you still have that love for shooting sports, we would love to have you be a part of it, because many times, as you probably remember, when your kids are younger, you don't have as much time as you'd like to have to be able to devote to things like that. So sharing your passion and your expertise is really a wonderful gift to give.
It is. And you bringing that up, Vanessa, you just made me think of something else to lead into, is that, the 4-H program, like I said, we depend on volunteers to really help those kids and help them create situations where they're learning life skills. And if you have an expertise and you're willing to lend your hand, not just in shooting sports, but in any kind of thing, if you're a great baker, if you are a great photographer or have a love for it and you want to share your knowledge with young people, I really encourage you to reach out to the extension offices in your communities and say, you know what, I'm willing to give some time and share my expertise. Another area we look for volunteers all the time with some expertise is 4-H Achievement Days and help with judging. So if you have a love for crops, gardening, photography, livestock, anything, or even horses, there's so many different areas that you can get involved with, and it doesn't take a lot of time. If you want to spend a couple hours, a month, or if you want to spend a couple hours a day in the summer or a couple hours in the summer just sharing your knowledge, we can work with you and set up some different types of classroom situations or activities, and you can become involved in 4-H and help out some youth and learn some new skills just like they're learning from you. So with that, Jim looks like he is cueing us for a break, so we will go on a short break, and I have a couple more 4-H activities to visit about, and then Liz and Vanessa will share some other information with you. We'll be right back with the Extension Connection. Welcome back to the Extension Connection. Again, the Morton County Extension Service is with you today. We are recording just as a reminder. So if you have any questions about our program today, please feel free to contact the office at 667-3340. I have a couple other events coming up for 4-H, and since I work primarily with the shooting sports program in North Dakota, I'm lucky to be able to share all this great information with you. We have a muzzle loading event for senior 4-H members only, and that is 14 to 18 years old, on Sunday, April 24th at noon Mountain Standard Time. And we will be holding this event at the Slope Area Rifle and Pistol Club, located just south of Manning. And a national team could potentially come out of this match if the top scores are equal or greater to 150 in the 50-yard bull and 9 in the silhouette. Participants can register by contacting Samantha Roth at the NDSU Extension Service in Stark Billings County. And if you would like her information, you can sure contact me at the office. Again, carla.mickle@ndsu.edu or 667-3340. And I'd be happy, again, to share that information. I'm very excited. We had 4 participants last year, and we're hoping for 6. We're going to try to increase it by 2 this year. So, again, muzzle loading. So, a little different activity for 4-H than you're used to hearing from us, but that one is coming up. The other event is going to be the 4-H Missouri River 3D Archery Shoot, and this is scheduled for Saturday, April 30th. Check-in is 8:30 a.m. to 3 p.m. The first flight will leave at 9 a.m. and the last flight will leave at 3:15. And this activity will take place at the Nishu Bowman Archery Complex down on Riverwood Drive in South Bismarck. It's going to be held in conjunction with the Nishu Open Youth Vegas Tournament, and there'll be more information coming out about that as well. And hats off to one of our sponsors of that event. I received some funding from them yesterday, so thank you, Shields, for being such a great supporter of the Morton County 4-H program. We really do appreciate it. If you register by April 13th, you're guaranteed a t-shirt, and we always have some kind of fun logo. Last year we had a moose jumping over some arrows, which was really fun, and so we always try to give t-shirts out to all the participants if you register by April 13th.
It wasn't Bullwinkle, was it?
It was not Bullwinkle. He's a cute little moose, though. It was adorable. One year we had a turkey. He was really cute. He's running from all these arrows, and he's really bright colors, and it was fun. So Jeff Ellingson is always really good about putting together our logo for that particular contest. So the last event I have for you is an event coming up on May 13th, 14th, and 15th, and this is the state 4-H archery match, and this will be held at North Dakota 4-H Camp near Washburn. And we offer 3 different events for this, and it's 3D archery, and that is for all archers. So if you are age 8 through 18, and field archery is offered to juniors and seniors, and that match will be 10 targets with identified distances, and archers will shoot 4 arrows at each target. It ranges to 50 yards for seniors, and will shoot 35 yards for maximum of juniors. And so that, again, the junior age is age 11 and to 14, and then 14 and older is our seniors. And then our FIDA, which is all done in meters, and that's actually a German activity. So FIDA was actually introduced in Germany, and so we're carrying that over here into an event that we have at the state contest. And this match, again, is in meters. It is 60, 50, 40, and 30 meters, and this event is for seniors only, so only for those archers that are 14 years and older. And more information will be coming out on registration on that event. Vanessa, did you
Is it just called FIDA, or is it an acronym for something?
It's probably an acronym for something, but to be really honest, I do not know. So,
and I think it's for food lovers. I think it's actually spelt like feta cheese.
FITA.
Oh, it's I. Yeah. I was thinking it was E. Okay.
No, FITA. Yep. So, but again, that event is coming up May 13th, 14th, and 15th, and registration will actually open next week. So I'm just visiting about it here with everyone today, but registration will open next week, and that'll be through 4-H Online. And again, with all of our activities, please don't hesitate to call the office, check out our Facebook page or our website, and we would be happy to share some additional information with you. So that is really all for 4-H. Vanessa had some really good stuff. I know we had a big day on Friday with Prevent Child Abuse Awareness Month in preparation for that.
Yeah, on April 1st, we kicked off the month by planting some flags, blue flags, both on the front of the courthouse and also at the front of the law enforcement center. And we had some 4-H youth involved with that, creating blue ribbons. So if you're driving around Mandan, make sure you zip by the courthouse and check those out. And we have actually several different things going on for Child Abuse Prevention Month. But one of the things that we're doing is offering some ideas for activities that families can do together, and things that don't cost us any money but can really be a way to work on that relationship between parent and child and the family as a whole. And so just a few things to think about. Catch your child doing something good, and then not only notice it, but make a comment about that. Make sure that they recognize that.
We're pretty good at recognizing the not so great things, right? Pointing those out verbally.
Yeah, and when you start thinking about all the negative things or those other things that we say, those are the things that unfortunately kids remember. And I forget, it takes like 6 or 7 positive things to counteract one negative thing that you've said. Mm-hmm. And so even as you think back to the morning, if the morning was one of those usual mornings where you were getting people ready to go and people weren't moving as quickly as you wanted, or were forgetting to grab things and all those things. And so many times there's more negative things said than positive. And if you think about it, how do you send those kids off to school that day or off to daycare? Are they sent off on a cloud, or are they deep in a well and they have to start digging their way or moving their way up throughout the day?
And we know that if you're going to work and you get to the office and so stressed out, the kids probably feel the same way.
That's exactly right.
Dropped off at their office at school.
Mm-hmm. Another fun thing to do is to go to a playground or a park. Even picking one that you haven't gone to recently, or we have lots of wonderful new parks out. So check out a new park. Check out we have several new schools in the community. Check out a new school playground. There's lots of times when they're idle and not being used by the school even during the day. Another fun thing is to tell a child about something funny that happened to you when you were a child. They love to hear those stories. They also love to hear stories about when they were younger and things that they did when they were smaller, even if they're really small now.
Mm-hmm. There was always a smaller. There
was always a smaller, that's right. Work on an art project together. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. It can just be painting, or it can be chalk art out on the sidewalk. Any fun things together. You might not want to do this one today, but go lay on the lawn and look for the figures in the clouds together. Check out what can you see. Do you see a rabbit? Do you see a puppy? Do you see, what can you find in those clouds? Also, you can do some practical things like helping them learn how to cross the street safely. Or if you're going on a walk or even on a drive, before you take off, decide what you're going to be looking for and counting. How many trucks do we see? Or how red cars do we see? Or what else could we count?
School buses.
How many school buses? Yeah, there you go.
That's my nephew's life.
There you go. All those things that you can be entertained and having them learning how to count, learning how to be observant, and be checking out the surroundings in their environment. So lots of good things can happen there. When it gets to a little bit warmer, even having them involved with planting, whether it's flowers or if you're planting a garden. If you don't have room for a garden, we have lots of good information about even container gardens. So if you wanted to have a tomato plant in a pot, those kinds of things you can do together. Do a puzzle together on a day like today might be a fun activity.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Rainy day activities.
Yeah, all those fun things. And as you send kids off to work and school and all those other things, even sticking a note somewhere where they can find it later can be a way to brighten up their day. But with that, we're going to take a quick break, and we'll be back to talk a little bit more about Prevent Child Abuse Month and other fun things happening this spring. and we're back with the Extension Connection. And Liz, you wanted to share some things about Prevent Child Abuse Month also.
Yes, yeah. So like you pointed out, we have the blue ribbons going on around town. Hopefully people wearing them on their shirts or buttons or whatever it might be. And everyone's kind of like, well, there's a ribbon for everything, right? So what do we think about when we think of the blue ribbon? I know the blue ribbon also is for other things, but it's an opportunity. I know each Friday in Morton County we're doing the Wear Blue, so you can wear blue clothing if you don't have a ribbon, or find a ribbon, whatever it is. So every Friday wearing that blue. And then what do you say when people say, ask you, why are you wearing blue, or what's with the blue ribbons? And so I was looking at kind of the National Child Abuse Prevention Month materials, and they really talk about how the blue ribbon, you can be a blue ribbon parent. So what does that mean? Showing that love, spending time, like Vanessa was saying. It's really about the quality. It's not necessarily quantity. We don't have hours a day necessarily with your kids each day. So spending that time, and then disciplining in a constructive way. So reminding everyone to do it out of a teaching moment, not so much of a punishment and putting the child down. So you can be a blue ribbon parent. Maybe that's what your response will be when you wear your blue ribbon. Or you could be a blue ribbon community member. So just reaching out, taking action. If you hear about an event going on in your community, I know there's lots of great things, not even in just April, but there's runs, 5K walks, that kind of stuff going on all around the state. So volunteer at an event or show up just to be a body. It's amazing to have more people there. Support the prevention efforts in your own community. And then also get informed. So there's lots of resource tables. I know we have some that we've put up in the county office. There's one at Custer Health. There's one in the police department, I believe. Social services office has one. So they all have different brochures. Maybe we should have made a game. They could go get scavenger hunt. See if they can get a brochure for every topic. So, take a minute out of your day or 2 minutes to grab one, read it. Don't throw it in the trash right away. But just get informed about what is child abuse and what can you do as a community member. And check out the Prevent Child Abuse North Dakota website. They have good coloring sheets if you want to bring the topic up with your kids.
Right, and another way to kind of visit about it as they're coloring, you can talk about some of the things you want them to know about.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, because we want our kids to be informed just like us. And I'll give a little shout out to our Parent Resource Center. You can also sign up for a parenting class. So we have one going on now that's been great, conscious discipline. We've had about 15 people each week, and that's exciting. And then there's still time to sign up for our Common Sense Parenting for toddlers and preschoolers. So maybe you don't have a school ager in your household, but a little one. So that's Tuesday evenings, and I'll start April 19th. So there's still a couple weeks to sign up. And you can call our office at 667-3342.
And just some really good practical skills. I think it's always nice for parents to be able to kind of fill up their toolbox with because one tool works with one child, another tool works with another child, or maybe you're not familiar with that tool or aren't comfortable using that tool and you want to find a different one.
And I know in our class the last couple weeks we do little exercises and kind of role playing, and so you get to be the whiny kid, which is kind of nice sometimes, to maybe act out a little bit of your frustration, but also get to practice using the words, because we all know when we're in the moment it doesn't always come out like we thought it was going to. So get in a moment to have a safe space to just kind of let it all out, and then practice on how we're going to say things in a positive way. So.
And sometimes it's not too big a stretch to act like that whiny child.
Right, exactly. We have some parents that are really good at it in class. So, yeah. I guess other than that, I was just going to talk a little bit about other research. I think a lot of people read research and what does it mean and why do we even talk about child abuse prevention or neglect. And that's really how babies and young kids grow into healthy beings. So we want them to have those stable environments that they receive that caring and nurturing, and so then they can then show them. I know a lot of the 4-H stuff, that's constantly what you're talking with your 4-Hers, is how to have those healthy relationships and for the really little ones, because obviously in our discipline classes, that's for older kids, but the really little ones, looking at who those stable care providers are in their life. I know we have a kind of a child care crisis in our state, but making sure you're using resources from Child Care Aware or, your local child care license officer, whoever it might be, so that you know what you're looking for as a family, and then also how to catch the things that aren't safe or aren't healthy, because a lot of times we're working all day, and those are the main providers for care. And you really want to keep it to just a couple main people. The kids create that stability for them. So maybe there's, 2 parents and a grandparent or a child care provider, whatever it might be. Their environment's that stability. And so even from a young age, you can start. You maybe think, oh, I have a 1-year-old that doesn't apply to me yet. They're too little to understand, but they do. They get it. They sense those things. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. National Child Abuse Prevention Month.
Yeah, so every Friday, think about us and wear blue. And
come take a photo by our ribbon, maybe.
There you go.
Yeah. I think we're going to be in the newspaper, hopefully. The Mandan.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully Mandan News will pick us up. So, yeah. And it was great to have the 4-H'ers there as a part of putting those all together, too.
Mm-hmm. It was fun. There's quite a few of them, so it was a really fun day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they worked fast.
They did. Get in and get out, get the job done.
Yeah. Good. Yeah, so I think that's all I have. Maybe we'll let Vanessa talk a little bit about, what was it, asparagus?
Yeah. Well, I was
going to veggies.
Yeah, I was going to talk a little bit about some of the with spring just around the corner, although it doesn't seem like it necessarily. There are several different kinds of fruits and vegetables that will be more plentiful and in better quality because they're in season right now. Things like artichokes, broccoli, lettuce, mangoes. We're going to see more mangoes in the grocery store, and so I do have a fun recipe if somebody's a little bit daring. For a pineapple mango green smoothie.
Ooh, I had a green smoothie this morning.
Yeah.
But no mango.
And any guesses? Come on, gals. Any guesses as to what makes it green?
I would usually guess spinach.
It is. Yes, it
wow.
is. And so spinach is one of those things, when I visit with classrooms and kids too, they always go, ooh, kind of thing. They're not sure about that. But, spinach is so healthy. And most times, in this case, the amount of spinach and then the other fruits that are in there really don't give it much color, and so the green kind of takes over. But a lot of times you can add spinach to almost any smoothie recipe that you like, and you gain all the benefits, but normally you don't get a lot of green. The color doesn't necessarily come through. It gets overshadowed by strawberries or other fruits that you might have in there. But you can check out our website, and we'll get this out on Facebook also. It's a pineapple, as I said, a pineapple mango green smoothie. So it has pineapple, mango, spinach, pineapple juice, and some ice. So lots of good stuff. And then I also have a recipe for beans. Mangoes are out there for mango bean burritos. So if you are a mango lover, we have some fun things for you to consider. Some other fruits and vegetables that are going to be plentiful right this time of the year are turnips, strawberries, spinach, snap peas, rhubarb, of course. Everybody's probably patiently watching their rhubarb patches. Pineapple is also, it's going to be in season for pineapple. And then probably the main one I wanted to talk about is asparagus, because truly this is really the only time of year that we really get good quality asparagus. And so if you happen to like asparagus, you should pat yourself on the back, because really 1 cup of asparagus has only about 25 calories and has 3 grams of dietary fiber. And of course, fiber helps us with our digestive system. And as I always tell the kids, it's kind of like the big broom that cleans out our system. And then they laugh, yeah. Because they're like, did she really say that? Yeah. Asparagus also provides potassium, which is really important for muscle contraction. And of course, our most important muscle, again, kids will tell me, is their mouth, but it's not. It's their heart. So keeping your heart healthy with potassium. And then asparagus is also high in vitamin C, vitamin K, vitamin A, and thiamine. And so very nutrient rich. And asparagus is especially rich in folate. And this is the B vitamin that's known to prevent birth defects, including spina bifida, where a baby's spine may not be fully closed at birth. And spina spina bifida potentially is linked to paralysis. So throughout life, folate plays a role in maintaining the health of cells in our body. And so even though we focus sometimes on folate for women in childbearing years, actually folate is important for all of us, men and women, and at all ages, because it also helps to keep our other cells in our body healthy. Despite its nutritional benefits, though, asparagus does have an interesting side effect that you may or may not be aware of that actually can show up as soon as 15 minutes after we eat. Asparagus naturally contains a sulfur-containing amino acid, and people who enjoy asparagus will excrete a natural sulfurous chemical in their urine. So in other words, you can tell if somebody had asparagus if you're close enough to them when they're doing certain activities. However, not everyone can smell this natural chemical with a scent similar to cooking cabbage. It's estimated that between 25 and 50% of people can detect the smell, but some may not be able to. So if you are looking for asparagus, if you're purchasing it in the store, you might want to use it about 3 days for its best quality. If the ends begin to dry out, you can dampen a paper towel and wrap it around the bottom to moisten them up and freshen them up a little bit. Asparagus can be cooked by steaming, microwaving, stir frying, and also grilling. And I do have an awesome recipe for grilling asparagus. It's not very difficult. It's just adding a little bit of canola or olive oil, minced garlic, and then just a little bit of salt to taste. So easy way if you're charging up that grill, easy way to make a great addition to your meal, steaks, pork chops, whatever you're putting on the grill. So I think Jim is saying that we need to take a break, and so we're going to come back in a few minutes with the Extension Connection.
Good morning and welcome to the Extension Connection. I'm sure the other ladies have mentioned that we're taping our program. And so if you have any questions, please call 667-3340 with anything that we're talking about today. On Monday night, we held our first Spring Fever Garden Forum. It was well attended in Mandan. We had about 12 people. And then, of course, statewide, there was lots of different people as well. If you're interested, you still can get in on these programs. There's 3 more to go. And you can do that from the comfort of your own home, or you can come to the Morton County Extension Office or the Burleigh County Extension Office and attend live. On Monday, April 11th, we'll be doing 4 sessions. The first one is that I will be doing new plants for 2016, and we'll talk about the plants that were previewed at the Northern Garden Expo in Minneapolis. Kathy Wiederholt, from the Fruit Project Manager at the Carrington Research Extension Center, is going to be talking about Aronia, which is kind of like a chokecherry in a way. And this shrub is called the superfruit. It's a really nice fruit, and you can make a jelly, and then also it makes really good wine if you're into wine making, and so that's what it's been used for a lot of. Also, Steve Sagasar, the extension agent and extension horticulturalist, I should call him. He's going to talk about transplanting trees and shrubs. And then at the end of each session, we always have a little activity. And this next week on the 11th, we'll be talking about growing potatoes in North Dakota. And then also people that are attending at the Morton County or at an extension office will receive a couple varieties of new potatoes that are coming out. And so last night They had some seeds starting. They did that, and they got some new varieties of that. And then they also got samples of some new squash and pumpkins that they're going to try out. They didn't plant those yet because it's a little too early, but they had potting soil, and they were able to plant at the Morton County Courthouse is what they did. So once again, those start at 6:30 in the evening. They're each Monday. And the next one is Monday, April 11th at the Morton County Extension Office, or you can just go online and register as well. They are free and open to the public. Just as a reminder is that our soil temperatures are getting a little higher. And yesterday, the soil temperature at the Mandan Research Station south of town, the soil temperature under turf was 40 degrees and 49 degrees on bare soil. And so we're getting close to that time when you might want to consider doing an application of a granular herbicide for crabgrass control and any other grasses that you might want to control in your lawn. And crabgrass killer in your lawn, it's available at many of the garden centers and big box stores. There's like Acclaim, Dimension, Dacthal, pendimethalin, or 2%. To be effective for this granular application, you need to put it on when soil temperatures get about 50 degrees. So when it starts to get to be about 45 degrees, you might want to consider making that application of a granular application because it kills the plant before it comes up out of the ground. And so the chemical needs to be put on. It's called a pre-emergent herbicide. And so you would want to do that very soon. Pre-emergent herbicide should be applied before soil temperatures reach 50 to 55 degrees Fahrenheit because that's when the crabgrass begins to germinate. And so we want to make sure that we get that done. Pre-emergent herbicides work in inhibiting the growth of young seedlings. They do not eliminate established plants and must be applied before germination begins. Applications made very early in the spring have potential to break down before the end of the germination window and are, for the most part, not recommended. Sometimes we may need to make more than one application depending on the growing season because of soil temperature variations. The effectiveness of it might wear out, and so you might have to make another application. So, as always, make sure you follow and read label directions.
And I suppose even in a given yard, front yard, backyard may be different. You might need to do it at different times.
Right. Actually, like if you have a big north exposure where it's mostly shaded, that area, of course, will be cooler, and so you might want to wait and delay that application with that. And then, of course, the south side is probably warming up pretty good by now because of our south exposures on some of our homes. And so we would want to think about that. So if you have any information or any more questions about that, please feel free to call our office. I'd like to remind you that the 2016 County Rents and Values of Land, that brochure came out last week, the 1st of April. It's an annual survey of farmers and ranchers, and it was conducted to obtain average rental rates and the value of rented land in their localities. A news release has recently come out as well, is that the value of cropland and pasture land has decreased for the second year in a row, which for some that's good news, for some it's not so good news. So this report is available online, or we have copies of it available at our office. And we usually have a waiting list for people that want this when they're starting to settle their rental contracts for the year. And so if you're interested in that, please call our office and we can get that to you. And we can make sure that you're up to date on the latest county rents and values for North Dakota. Vanessa, I'm going to kick it over to you, and we can finish up with whatever you have to say.
Oh, okay, yep. Just some tips about shaping up for spring. I think a lot of times we think about cleaning our house, so maybe we also want to clean up our activities that we do or ways that we keep ourselves healthy. And so just a couple things that you might want to try as we're jumping into spring. One thing you can do is for a couple days, track your eating habits. Research shows time and time again that if you want to make a change, if you start a log and actually track all the foods and all the beverages and things that you're drinking throughout the day, that's a good point. It actually stops you sometimes from eating things that you take a second to think about what you're eating before you eat it, rather than just popping it in your mouth. And not that anybody else needs to see this log, but just yourself. And sometimes just the act of writing it down can help you make a change. Also tracking your activity. Again, if you make a goal that you're going to be active, 3 times during the week, or whatever your goal might be, begin tracking the, when you do your activities, how long you do them, and the days that you do them might give you a chance to make some plans. And it's really important to actually plan your activity in your calendar like you plan everything else. Everybody's calendars are booked, and you really need to make sure that you plan something for yourself in addition to all the other things that you're doing. Just like when we talk about budgeting with money, we talk about paying yourself first. It's the same thing with activity and with other healthy habits. Do those things for yourself first. And then some tips to perhaps eat more fruits and vegetables. That's one thing that we still neglect. We don't get enough of every day. And so plan some meals around a vegetable main dish. For example, like a stir fry or a soup. Have that in your plan for the week at least once a week. And then also including a green salad with your dinner. That's a great way that if you're preparing the meal, as you're finishing those last few preparations, having everybody create their own salad and then be able to sit down together and have a salad before you have the rest of your meal. Another tip that we talked about previously was a fruit smoothie for breakfast is a great way to get fruit, but then many times we can also sneak some of those vegetables in. And a lot of times we don't have vegetables for breakfast, so this is a good way to be able to sneak a few of those in. And then if you're, even if you don't pack a lunch, even just packing a snack, taking a clementine or a banana or a few grapes with you to work can be a great addition to your day. Also another way to get a few more fruits and vegetables. And with that, it is time to sign off and have a great week. We will see you in 2 weeks with the NDSU Extension Connection. This is the Morton County Extension Office.